Before we start the video, if any of you want to leave any circuit requests or maybe just show some pictures of rooms you're working on, join the Zombie 878 City Club, and there's a chat where I will chat to people. People will show maps they're working on, and I show things I'm working on, and we can talk about circuits here if you're having trouble. Now let's get into the video. Okay, welcome back to us going into how to make a room and everything. And since I went over all these settings and the room settings, now we're gonna go over all these down here, all these. The logging section is for CV2. We'll go over that another time. We already went over these room settings. So we are gonna go over the palette. This config menu is just a configuration menu from here. So we're going over some of the palette shapes. So as you see, we have a few palette shapes here. We have a tube, which I think you've seen what a tube looks like. You can make the tube smooth or not smooth if you want. This is a smooth tube, and this is a not smooth tube. Okay, next we have a ribbon, which ribbons are thin. So this is usually to make like paper, maybe small grass or something. Anyway, it looks like this, so it's good for that. Next we have a cube, which is a cube. Obviously, a sphere. We have a cylinder. We have a wedge, a pyramid, a hemisphere, a cone, a pipe, a donut, and yes, I am going over these shapes because we are going to be doing something with them. And lastly, we have a diamond. Now, if this room was in beta, which I don't know why this room isn't in beta right now, let's go to this room settings, and if you didn't enable beta content, go ahead and enable beta content. And what this will do is you gotta save your game too. And what beta content will do is just allow you to use beta content that they add, and obviously since it's beta they may take it away and stuff. And now that we have beta content, if we go into our palette now, the shapes may be looking a bit weird from how they were looking last time. Don't worry, that's just a VR thing because I'm not on the computer. If you select it, the shapes will go back to normal. Anyway, if we go back to the palette, now you see that we have all the shapes. And if you don't have all the shapes, then you're going to want to hit view all shapes. And when we have a cube simple, and what this is this is the same as a cube, but the edges are sharper and not rounded off. And what this does is if I go ahead and try to make a house, you see that there's no corner here, but if I try to make something like that with this cube, you're going to see that there is a little line right there and it doesn't look as neat as that. So I'll just go ahead and use the simple shapes. Of course, you got the wedge simple, and all these simple shapes are all the same as the regular ones, except they're a bit smoother and better looking. Next, you have the trihedron, or whatever this is called. This is a diamond, except it looks like a way cooler diamond. We got the octahedron, which, you know, it's just diamonds with different shapes. The dodecahedron, don't know if I'm saying it right, could care less. We got the sphere simple. We got a quarter sphere. We have a triangle simple, pentagon simple. Yeah, the pentagon was not in here last time. As you see, I didn't add a pentagon. So I guess they went ahead and added two of those. We got the hexagon. We have the octagon. And we have a cylinder. Well, we had a cylinder, but we got a simple cylinder, quarter cylinder. We got a half pipe. We got a quarter pipe. We have a pyramid simple, a cone simple, and we have a mound, which is really nice if you want to make like little dirt mountains and stuff, and it's really nice. There's obviously a better way to make mountain. I got a tutorial on that. Anyway, let me press done and delete all these. So those are all the shapes. We are going to go over the rest of this. CV1, I would go over this, but this is kind of dead. I'll go over it a little bit though. So when you go over to CV1, you see a bunch of these old chips here. I may not go over these because there's not much you can do with CV1 now because they transferred a lot of it into CV2. So let's move over to circuits. Over here we have an AI path point. This makes AI follow a certain path. I'm just going to show you these things and tell you what they do. I'm not going to mess with them until we start making the map. Here we got the audio player. What's the audio player? It needs the audio sampler. Otherwise, it's not going to play audio. This is how you get audio into your map. So let's say you want to record, I don't know. Let's say you want to record Baby by Justin Bieber. Record that on a soundboard, or you can get a mic and a phone, which I honestly prefer to do that. Then connect that there, then to play, and now you got Baby by Justin Bieber. You got beacons right here. This just lights up a certain area if you wanted to light up. A button, self-explanatory, it's a button, you press it, it does things. You have a dice set. What's special about this dice set is it has the CV2 at the top. So it will calculate the rolls and stuff. And you can see I got a 3, so the result's going to say 3. It's going to show you the player rolled. And yeah, real nice. Okay, next we got the dome light. It's literally just a light, nothing else. We got an emitter. This is how you get fireworks and things to work in your room. Explosion emitter. It's going to cause a it's going to cause an explosion. Got the full body costume. How to make a costume in a room. People pay for it. They like it. The gun handle is in beta content, as you can tell from the beta. Just like with the AI path point. So the gun handle makes it so you can make custom guns and don't have to use laser guns, which is really nice. Interaction volume, just the different button. We got invisible collision. You put this here and people won't be able to run into it. As you can see, it's just collision that you're not going to be able to see with the maker pen not out. We got the laser pointer. So if you want to make a laser pointer, you can go ahead, change the color of that, scale it. Piston obviously does piston stuff, moves things back and forth. Point light, just another light. Next we have the projectile launcher. This is how you get the gun handle to shoot. You gotta pair this with the gun handle. Otherwise the gun handle is not gonna shoot. We got the respawn point, which it's just a CV1 respawn point. It will respawn you. We got a CV2 room door if you like that kind of stuff. Got a rotator, rotate stuff round and round, you know, spinning in a chair. We have a seat. Just go ahead, place that down, take a nice little seat in here. The person can't turn or move in here. Nice for a chair or something you're making, I guess. We got the sound effects chip, what makes this different from the audio player is this has preloaded sounds into it, preset sounds into it. So unlike the audio player, you have to choose sounds in that. You can't make your own audio. Spawner component, you see it's in beta. This spawns the AI. Spotlight, just like the dome light, but another kind of light. Sun direction is in beta. This controls the direction of the sun. So if I place that there and I turn that on, the sun will appear up there. We have text, which, I mean, it's text. You can literally have it say hi or something. Got the text screen. Don't know if anyone uses this that much. Toggle button, just a button that you toggle. Trigger handle, just like the gun handle, except you need to do a lot of other stuff to make this shoot. You might as well just use the gun handle. But other than that, you can use a trigger handle. Nothing wrong with that. You can also make grappling hooks and stuff with that. We got the trigger zone, which can detect players and objects. We got the vector component, which will, push people in a certain direction or force something in a certain direction. And we got the welcome mat, which is basically a CV1 welcome mat, but this is a CV2 welcome mat. Excuse me, place that below the floor. And now that we went over all this, I'm going to go over how to I'm going to go over some basic CV2. So I'm going to get out here because it's kind of full in there. So basic CV2, we are going to go to the circuits. It's not called CV2, but I call it CV2 because that was originally what it was called. Anyway, some basic chips you should use in CV2 is first. Actually, let me just go to the commonly used section. There's a commonly used section down here. Yeah, the circuit board. This is so you can create your own circuit board. So if I edit this, I can make my own circuits in here. And then when I press done, I can hold this up and be like, hey, look, here's one circuit board with all the circuits of how to double jump, all in this one circuit board. Real nice. Next, you have the comment, which, just leave a comment there. You can even turn it on and say, hey, you need to work on something over here. So turn this always on and then say hi. And there we go. Now it's always on. Next we have the delay chip. This makes it so when you run something in, it obviously delays it by however much time you put into here. And I'll go over circuits more in detail in the next episode. I just want to get past some of the commonly used circuits. Next we have the equals chip, which the equals chip will only work with the if chip. Let me see if I can find that. So the equals chip will get a number or a name. It honestly depends. But if you were to get a number and put it right here, it will be like, hey, does that number equal 1? And if it doesn't equal 1, then this isn't going to work. You see how this says false? Because it's not equal to 1. All of it, just imagine that it's not equal to 1. That's false. If it equals to 1, then it's going to be true. And let's see. We got the event definition. This is to make your own custom events. I go into more detail on that in a PvP tutorial. But just a little quick recap. If you want to make your own custom event, you're also going to need a event sender, because if you do make a custom event, the event sender is what sends out that custom event, which is right there. And you can send it out to either everybody, authority, others, local, or room authority. Doesn't really matter. Next, we have the event receiver, which it's basically preset events. It's just like the sound effects chip. It has a bunch of preset events in it. So maybe when someone joins the room, maybe when the room loads, or maybe when the room resets, it has a whole bunch of preset events. Next, we have the if value chip, which this is a if chip, but it is a little bit more complicated. So if I were to connect this here and let's say it doesn't equal 1, then it would do whatever the else has. And if it is true, then it would do whatever the thin does, and the result will come out this end. I am not going to elaborate any further because it will take a long time. Maybe if I get to 400 subs, maybe I'll go over every chip in the game and lose my mind at the same time. Like and comment if you want that to happen, and subscribe. We got the log string. This is for the log board down here, the one big screen down here. If you type in something on here and activate it, it will come up here. Pretty straightforward. We got the reroute. We got the reroute chip, and this yeah. I don't really use this, so I don't really know what it does. I mean, I guess you can connect something to it, and it reroutes it to the other side. I honestly don't know why you want to do that. Seems like the most useless chip to me. I guess some people would say otherwise. String format. So what this does is in the value, if I type in 1 and in the format, if I type in open squiggly brackets 0, close squiggly brackets. Oh, I'm sorry, that's CV1. Let's say hi, and then let's do the squiggly brackets thing. And now, if I close it, you're gonna see that this is hi with the 1 right there. And we got the toString chip, which basically makes anything into a string variable. So I can connect it to here, it will make that into a string variable. If I want this to be a string variable, I can connect it here and it'll make this a string variable. Make stuff string variables, really useful. Let's see if there's anything else in here. And no, there's not anything else in there. That's great. Let's go over something else. Inventions, I already said stuff about the inventions. Inventions is where you can save assets to put in your map and stuff. There's even a store for assets. We got the props over here, which you should not use these props because they use up quite a bit of ink. So if you do use those, then yeah, not great. And of course we went over swatches last time. So I think that's about it for this video. In the next video, how about we start working on the map, because I have a great idea about what map we could work on. And also, if you haven't voted yet, make sure to vote in the community tab poll about what map you want me to make, and I'll possibly do that. If you liked the video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.